Area District Library has come to order. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We begin with the roll call. I was notified not long ago that our secretary, Alma Hughesgroves, will not be able to attend tonight. Said she'll try and get here late if she can, but she thought that she perhaps will not be able to get here. So,
Well, I'll move if she does, but right now I'm not straddling those folks.
well, there, you got a whole table.
Yeah.
Joy, would you do the roll call for us, please?
I'm Dawson. Here. Gates.
Here.
Ms. Grubbs.
Excuse.
And Jerika.
Here.
And Peters.
Here
Priest.
is excused. And on that note, I heard from trustee Priest, who is missing being here during this important time in our move, but she's loving being able to take care of her grandson. And we told her to stay that course. She was willing actually to come back up here, but we didn't think that was necessary. If we had a big problem, maybe, but we don't.
Would you like for me to take the minutes?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you could take some notes somewhere, didn't you used to do that forever? Yeah. Thank you, very kind.
Would you like a laptop?
If you have one, but
Well,
I can manage.
yeah, we're gonna do a short meeting, we're not gonna do a lot of discussion, hopefully. The next item is approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Good. That's moved by Juriga, supported by Gates, that the agenda as presented be approved. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll go for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. The motion carries with no dissenting votes. We have the minutes for the last meeting to approve. And that's, they were in your packet, and I think everybody has a packet in front of them. Do you wanna have a minute to look at them, or are we
I
ready
already
for a
did.
motion?
Yeah, I did too.
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion by Rita and a support by Dawson that the minutes be approved. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed by saying nay. The minutes are adopted with no dissenting votes. So we are moving right along. Before public I have a comment to make at public comments, but before public comments, we'll go along with the agenda, and which would be to approve the cleaning service. And there's a piece in the packet about the cleaning service proposals.
I see that the AP Building Solutions has the most inexpensive price per month, and yet their references are O'Neill Construction, Chelsea District Library, and Saline District Library.
They're going to be doing the cleaning of the building for O'Neill Construction before they turn it over to us. So.
Yeah. I just wonder if they would include, besides doing the window sills, because they do get dusty, and the baseboard cleaning. I wonder if they would throw that in the bid, if that's possible.
Isn't that part of cleaning?
This is the month,
Baseboard
I think
cleaning.
this is the regular cleaning. Are you
This is
talking
the-
about the?
This is regular building cleaning.
Okay,
Baseboards are part of that,
well, it doesn't say that on there.
but
It doesn't say toilet soap either, but we
it
can
doesn't say every
expect that.
single thing. When people clean, they clean baseboards. And so you get somebody to clean, so you're not cleaning your baseboard.
So,
Just
are you happy with the current one?
I've been very happy happy with our current service, however, this is quite a big price
Yeah.
differential.
Twice the amount. huh?
Yes.
Well, 2,000 more,
Yes.
and that's
That'd be a
24
populous.
months,
It's populous right now.
24,000 a year.
Month. Oh, yeah,
So
sorry.
wait, the audience has a comment, audience. Oh, I can tell you.
Deb?
I'm just curious, had those people done a bid when you were going out for bid for this building?
No, we weren't aware of them until we found out about them through O'Neill Construction.
So,
Madam Chair,
yes,
I make the motion, we, hire AP Building Solutions at, $2,550 a month.
I'll second that.
it has been moved by Jerica, supported by Dawson, that we go with AP Building Solutions for our cleaning services.
How often are they coming?
Yeah, go ahead with discussion.
They come every day,
Okay.
every day they want it open.
How many workers will they have in our building?
Probably 2 to 3.
It's a pretty big building.
Yeah,
I think
they're here, it's more than just, an hour or two.
Yeah.
What time do they come? They
They
come
come
when the
over.
patrons are here,
No,
or?
they come on with those, they come after hours.
And I'm
They
sure,
work collect approximately 6 hours a night collectively.
okay.
So, I don't have a lot of history. We went to contract when I got on the board, it was gone. Because,
We were moving away from having our own cleaners on payroll to having a company do it.
because,
We were seeing a lot of turnover when we were doing it, and we wanted to get away from being in the hiring business all the time. So it was a lot easier to have someone else handle that part of it for us.
so we think this will be resolved, that we won't have the issues we had with this problem before, by hiring our own.
Well, we haven't had problems
We
with
haven't
how,
had
because we
problems.
switched.
I mean, that's why we originally
When we
switched.
switched to
Well,
populous,
since we're going to a whole new building, we did, because it's a whole different animal in this building.
Venue is too, yeah.
Right.
I have a question as well, and I think you already answered it. You have been pleased with Populous since they've
Yes.
been here, but we've also been pleased with AP Building Solutions since they've been working
Right.
with O'Neill Construction over here in the new building. They are substantially cheaper.
I'm impressed with I would just love to know the square footage of the windows in that building. It's amazing. That's amazing.
You can calculate that.
So, by chance, did you talk to any of these,
Chelsea gushed about them, and they were especially.
okay,
Okay.
and O'Neill has no issues with them? Okay.
Having done other libraries is important.
Even though we're not considering Jan and King, I'm surprised that they're not bonded and insured, because they've been around for a long time.
I'm 99% certain that they are. When we saw their price, we didn't proceed yet.
Okay,
They didn't supply that information.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I call for the vote.
Oh, wow. I want us to get our questions answered.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Okay, then the vote has been called for. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying no. The motion carries with no dissenting votes. Now we are at the time for public comments, and I want to start the public comments. I mean, I'm eager, I'm really pleased we have some public here to comment, but I'm doubly pleased at the particular public we have here to comment, because both Debbie Green and Barbara Miller are here, and both of them are part of the history of the development of this library and the new library. Debbie Green really set the path for there to be Mary Jane generally, or Rick Dawson generally talks to us about the history how this all came to be and how we got to have a separate district, and we put the building blocks together right. Those of us who are more recent on the board have had the agony and the ecstasy of being able to do the new building, but before we could even do that, there was a whole lot done. So I'm glad that we have two of those people here. Would either of you like to address the board during public comments?
I would. I took a tour with the art committee about a week ago, and I have to say that the new it was my first time in the building. It's very impressive. There's a lot of thought in the building. It flows beautifully. It's just a wonderful building. And my congratulations to the board and to our architect for this lovely, lovely facility. And I also, for the rest of the board, I had the opportunity to talk to the librarian from the city of Ann Arbor. She was the moderator on a panel that I attended about litigation and the media. And I happened to walk out with her, and she found out that I was from Belleville. And she said, you have a wonderful architect working for you, and the wonderful O'Neill is the construction firm. She couldn't say enough about them, and she congratulated us on keeping the library downtown. Every other library that she's worked with in the Ann Arbor area that has moved the library out of town regrets it, and they're very happy their library is downtown. And from my own experience, the library in Plymouth does wonderful things for the downtown. There's a lot more traffic, and it's well planned. It's a beautiful library, and congratulations to the board and to Mary Jo, and the community, I'm sure, appreciates it. I know I was thrilled when I saw it.
Thank you, Deb.
It is an amazing building, and I just wanna say, I'm glad I'm not in charge of it now. I see what Mary Jo has been going. No, it's a wonderful. It is really wonderful, and I'm so glad you've got somebody so excellent in charge of it. I'm sure you got. I know she got a standing ovation. I'd have been here if I'd known you were giving her a standing ovation, so I stood
So
up too.
You'll give it retroactive.
Yeah.
Right, and in spirit, I joined that standing ovation.
Yeah.
I wasn't there that evening, but
Yeah.
certainly Mary Jo deserves it.
Well, I
We had many
appreciate,
compliments from that Ann Arbor librarian about our Mary Jo.
good. We all appreciate that too. We appreciate Deb and Mary Jo having been a team for so long, and then Mary Jo coming in and doing this heavy hitting that most of us all feel, we don't know how anybody could be able to keep it all moving along. But she has, and she hasn't lost her mind and pulled her hair out, or
Not yet.
choked
Not that
any,
we've seen.
or she hasn't choked any of us either.
Not yet.
Well, this is a preliminary celebration tonight. We have lots and lots of celebrations planned this year, and we will all be celebrating. I kind of feel like Barbara, every time I go in that building, I'll be celebrating. It's
Thrilling,
just,
it really is thrilling.
it is something to see. And we're glad for the community. And we feel our community deserves it, but we're really pleased. And we're glad you're here, Dan.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here tonight. We'll probably have some discussion with you under the building committee, but it's time for us to start our preliminary celebrating, and here we go. Are there other public comments? There's no more public.
Yeah,
Dan?
we ran out of public.
I guess we're running out of public. Rosemary must be stuck in Sumter.
Sumter.
Has Rosemary been in the building?
No,
I don't think she's been in.
she's not been in yet.
Oh.
I've invited her a couple times, but.
She hasn't been able to be in. Well, maybe we'll be able to do something about that before the final opening. Before the soft opening, which we'll be discussing presently. If there's no more public comments, we will move into committee reports, and the first, as always, is the building committee. Joy?
Well, I'm really glad that Dan tired and keep switching cars and my notes are in the other car. So, we have, let's see, I think by the time we have our soft opening, which is, planned on February 24th, 21st,
Well,
No,
24th.
That's the Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
The week of the 24th.
Yeah.
we expect to have, and maybe it's up, I haven't seen it, we expect to have rails up. Are they up?
No.
They're not, they were supposed to be going in this week, I think Dean said they're taking delivery, they should be on site Thursday, and the guys are coming on Saturday to start installing, but they'll be installing through next week, probably complete by Friday.
Hand painted the stairway.
He was going, he was going to, I think, start painting that maybe this week. At one point, he was gonna wait till after, because they'd probably nick it.
The
But
tiling is done, looks beautiful.
tiling was, I haven't seen it, actually Hillary texted me a photo after they had just grouted it. So yeah, that was, they finished setting the tile on Saturday and grouted it yesterday, so.
And on the stairs, has the tile,
That's the top, yeah.
they've been done on
Oh,
the
yeah.
stairs
Yeah.
too?
Oh, why don't you
Yeah.
do the
They're-
building?
They're,
Yeah, John's in there more than anybody else.
I mean, I think everybody, the entire team is working diligently and trying to get us, across the finish line here, but as you know, there's been just a number of things, and Dean, I think, and Mo and the team are doing a great job, sort of trying to push things along. With the tile, we just found out the guys are short a little bit of base tile. Yeah, they've been shorting everything, so, we'll see where that is. They have a little bit of ceramic tile base to do underneath the drinking fountain and on these columns in the stairs, so, I mean, it's not fatal, but it's just one thing after another, so.
Come on, yeah.
Dean was trying to find out, hopefully it's not having to come from Italy. But they were short on the lobby tile, which is why that was delayed.
Right.
So, but, there's just a number of things like that, that's just one challenge after another. But
Hi,
The-
Rosemary. We're starting a celebration and you have refreshments up here, help yourself.
I know, the tile work essentially was done on the stair, just except for this little bit of base. The carpet is almost complete, there's a little bit of, carpet at the top of the stairs on the second floor that, is not complete, because that can't be installed until the railing goes in. So that's not there yet, but, most everything is coming along on the inside. They're coordinating, we've had, some delays with the, library shelving, parts, so we've been getting pieces and parts and kind of dribbles, and, Library Design Associates is the vendor providing that. They've been actually excellent working with everybody, kind of keep everybody informed as they've been dealing with their supplier who's, wasn't able to, I guess, hit the deadline. And they're working well with everybody, but that's created some backups of everything else that was supposed to happen. And because we don't have some of the components, Dean's not able to complete the wood base in some areas on the first floor, and so there's just a number of things, and the end panels are sitting in the fireplace area waiting for the shelving to be complete, so there's just a number of things, and it's yeah,
dominoes of delays,
it is, but everybody's working diligently. All of the furniture is in the building except for some of the shelving components and the library tables, most of the second floor reader tables. Those are coming Thursday. We got confirmation today. And that's been a big push because we've been trying to get the computer tables in the OPEC station so George can start setting up computers, because he has a lot of computers to set up and he's gonna be stressed. And same with the public service desk, so I think the countertops have been set, both for the second floor reference desk and the circ desk, and they were drilling the grommets for those today and polishing those. So assuming they got that complete today, those will be free for George to dive in, start setting up computers on those.
The pavers came yesterday for the.
They did? Okay,
We're gonna do that shortly.
yeah, so the pavers for the terrace.
Wow.
There's gonna be, there's ongoing things that are, on the exterior that are, slower to come together. The pavers being one, that doesn't really affect what we're doing on the inside, but, those should go in here this week. I don't know, it shouldn't take too long, but Dean and I
What's
talked.
going on this week?
Pavers for the
Oh,
exterior
yeah.
terrace.
Okay.
I don't know if the sunshade is complete, it's mostly complete, but I know
Right,
they're.
you said there was some
The
inside.
corners are still missing.
Yeah, they had to order some additional parts that were shipped wrong. The infamous Wagner railing, lighted railing on the terrace is still not here. I think it's coming, but that's targeted for the week of the 24th. Once that gets installed, and then the trestle panels that are on the back side of the terrace, those can't be installed until the Wagner railing is in place. And those same panels are on the exterior entry canopy and on the top of the stair tower. So those will happen later. I think they have that material or it's coming. So there's just gonna be some sort of loose ends on the exterior, even if we have a soft opening.
So, and for some of the, like the terrace and all, that won't affect our getting our certificate of occupancy?
No, I wouldn't expect it to. That area, if the railing's not in place, that area would just be off limits to everybody. So,
Right.
that wouldn't affect us getting a temporary CO. And frankly, in February, nobody wants to go out there anyways.
Right.
Right. And so that's not a concern. We do have, because those pavers aren't in place, we have a bunch of planters that are gonna go out on the terrace. I think there's 12 of them, something like 10 or 12. And they've been stored inside the building because we don't have the pavers. So I talked to Dean about moving those out of the way so we can get the tables set in place and trying to remove any obstacles for people sort of finishing things up.
I have a question about the planters.
Yeah.
First, I thought they were, the big pot thing was to put small children in if they were not.
Well, you can do that. That's the secondary
But
purpose.
the thing that looks like the screw,
The spiral?
Yeah, the spiral.
What is that?
Do those pots sit on top of it? How are they?
Nope, those are separate planters. So we have tall ones that are this big, and we have
Those
those.
spirally
drain.
things or?
There's no drain in there. Is it planter? You see, the round ones have drains in them.
I think it has a.
It has a plastic
Yeah, I think
thing
you,
on the bottom.
you might
but
knock it out.
It's not opened up yet.
Yeah,
Oh, but it may
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Okay, so they're both planters.
they're both planters, just different sizes to.
So
make-
taller
make-
children could be
Right.
put in the.
We spent a long time looking at the planters when we went through last.
And there's, I think, 4 more that are stored somewhere on the first floor, but they go out at the front entry. And I emailed Dean to see if, we have a small yard room by the dumpster that's inside the building. I don't know if that space is finished, but I'd like to be able to store the planters in the yard room now because we don't want to set them outside,
Right.
particularly without soiling them because they could walk away, so.
Yeah.
But we want to get them out of our way, so right now, because everything has been, all the furniture, except for the shelving, more or less came in as we had scheduled. So a lot of the furniture has been just stored in different places throughout the building. Particularly in the meeting room, every storage room in the meeting room is chock full of furniture. So I think, this Monday, we're gonna have the furniture vendor come back, and all of the adult computer task chairs are currently stored in the first floor staff workroom. Those will get set in place on the second floor, and that'll free up space so actually library staff can start moving into their workstations, beginning
Wow.
the week of the 17th. And then we have, I think, another furniture vendor coming on Thursday to put the rest of the things back in place, so.
The TV sets came in, they're gigantic.
Large, yeah, 75-inch, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They make good projection. I think they have a few, they're still working on a few things, I don't know if the
They're still
AV
working on
cabinet got
things.
set in the boardroom, that's
I
been
think it
sitting there
did.
for the longest time,
I
but,
think it did.
so,
I think he's gonna be on site, possibly through Monday.
yeah, yeah. So Dean is, he's starting their second floor kind of final clean, tomorrow and Thursday, I believe, at least. So I've told them they need to get everything vacuumed so we can set these tables in place, and their second floor is actually in pretty good shape. So they're working on that, and then they'll do their final cleaning, you know, the weekend or so before the library is gonna have their soft opening, but, the second floor is in reasonably good shape. They'll start doing the cleaning of the bathrooms and all that stuff to kind of get it ready to open, so. I think as of next week, assuming our tables come tomorrow, or Thursday, I think things will start to get sort of put in their proper place. If we can get this shelving, they're supposed to get more shelving, I think, tomorrow. That's supposed to be the last of the shelving components, but I haven't heard the final date for that. If we can get that out, then we can get all these end panels out of the way, and, which is basically
And
occupied
those
space.
end panels are so pretty.
Yeah.
It really makes a big difference in how things look when they're actually up on the
Yeah.
inside.
I really like the maple and cherry look.
I prefer oak myself.
Well, we can-
Surprise!
we can always change, So, yeah, I think, like I said, everybody's been very cooperative and working together, kind of in a spirit of cooperation, to try to deal with and kind of roll with the punches as things happen. And the whole kind of wrap up and completion hasn't really gone per plan, but everybody's doing, I think, a wonderful job to kind of get it there, so.
Whenever I've gone in there, I've been in there probably 4 or 5 times since you could get into the building. And I look around and I see all these guys that are really working hard, and I'll say to them, you guys are doing a great job. They get these grins on their face, they're like this big.
Yeah, they need
Thank you
to
so
hear that.
Oh, yeah.
They do good
Yeah.
work.
Because they've been doing an awesome job.
One of the painters, I think, lives here in Belleville.
Right.
And
That's
he-
very good, yeah, your neighbor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he's talked about bringing his kids.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
to
Oh,
very
yeah.
proud.
You know, yeah,
He loves
that's
it.
that's one reason why I enjoy doing libraries, is because people get to bring their families back
Yeah.
and see what
Yeah.
they were.
My
When
grandchildren.
we came in, he was repainting the color on the arch.
Yeah.
Because the time I saw it before, it was one color, and then
It's all
I came
yellow.
back in. He said they changed colors. I'm like, okay, looks good.
My grandchildren, every Sunday when they come over for the weekend, they always have to come and they look at the library from the outside and peek in the windows.
Oh, have fun. So obviously, it's gonna wrap up here quickly. We're I hope quickly anyways. We're having a little bit of unknowns with the children's furniture, so that's, I think we're getting the first of that end of this week, but we haven't been told if we're getting it all or getting parts of it. I know we got some feedback that they were pushing, but there might be some issues there, so we'll just kind of stay on top of it and try to get through it as best we can so we can get it done. Because it hasn't really gone as planned, we haven't yet done a punch list, which we normally want to do. Remember the original plan, we were gonna be construction complete mid-December, we're gonna do the punch list, ready for furniture to come in January 6th. So we haven't done that punch list yet, so the work hasn't been complete. So Dean and I will probably do that either later this week or possibly next week.
Who does the final walkthrough and check and find spots that you need to redo? or-
That's what I mean, that's what we're talking as a punch list. So I'll do that, you're welcome to join, but Dean and Mo and I don't know if Matt may attend too,
Yeah.
but we'll walk through, every room and, document anything that has to be done. And it's gonna be the nature of the beast, but I'm sure there will be loose ends that are happening as we're open, and they'll have to work around or work after hours or before hours or however, if they have to do anything.
When is the anticipated punch list walk? When do you think you'll do that?
We had identified this week for that and doing the work next week, but we haven't punched it yet, so we haven't set a date. I'm coming on Friday, back to the building. Jennifer's gonna be in the building on Thursday looking at furniture.
Sometime soon. Kind of as a segue or a natural follow-up to what we've just heard from Dan, Mary Jo and I talked again, and I think it maybe doesn't need to be restated, but it wouldn't hurt, that it is not hard and fast about the 21st as our soft.
24th.
21st
Okay,
is
so
the
that's
hard.
still,
The
we don't think.
Yeah, the critical issue there is the curb stair. So
Right.
since we don't have the
Right.
components on site, it's a bit of an unknown. And so the sequence there is essentially that railing has to get installed. Once it's fully installed, then Dean can schedule a final building, final inspection with Rick, which that can get scheduled, in a quick time, but they'll need to do that so he can get his temporary certificate of occupancy.
Right, those stairs. are-
Fingers crossed that there, nothing, no parts are missing or anything like that. The balcony railing came in and was very precise and went together really well,
And it
so.
looks very nice.
So we're expecting the same will be true of the railing, but the curb stair is kind of complicated. So, we're just fingers crossed that doesn't create a delay. But that's about the only thing,
The other issue is with the computers, because it's taken so long to
Yeah,
get places to put computers. In addition to that, it's taken longer than anticipated to get the actual computers from Dell.
right?
We had issues with them.
Plus
so
they
we're-
sent you doubles.
And then when they did send them, they sent doubles, so we're.
Double computers?
Yes.
Wow!
For nothing.
Twice as many?
No, we're sending them back, but.
You can't just say it fell with the truck?
So
we
we're
gonna-
gonna work very hard to get those deployed, but those have to be deployed before we can.
Yeah, staff has
Before we
been,
can open.
The staff needs some.
staff has been in the building, obviously,
stuff.
doing the collection and that kind of stuff, but staff needs to get acclimated to the building. There's a lot of, there is just gonna need to be some time to kind of get a feel for where everything is and how things operate and all of
And
that,
then
so.
get used to the technology.
Are we gonna have a staff working with George? That's a lot of work.
Yes.
Ricky
I've got-
Ricky
I've got
can
a
be
few
a
of-
gopher if you want, as a volunteer.
Okay, that's good to know, I'll let
Yeah.
George know. We've got, a couple of people from the library network are going to helping them out with some things next week, so that will help us get this going a little bit faster,
We've got 60 computers.
approximately.
Yeah.
That's including the
How many
staff.
for staff and how many for public?
Oh, I don't know, I don't have it off the top of my
Public,
head.
we have 8 in youth, 6 in teen, and
20,
16 or 16 or 20 in adult, something
At
like
least
that.
20, I think.
Yeah,
8 and 6 and 20?
8, 6, and so we got 8, 16, I think there's 20 adult.
Yeah.
Not count, and then plus there's the library catalogs that are separate computers in the stack, so.
And there's a little bitty kid computer.
Kid computers with and without
There's
internet.
probably approximately 24 staff computers.
Yeah, I would
And
think
there's
so.
some teen
So
computers.
if there are 60 computers coming in and 24 are staff, so then there's 36 that are public?
Probably we have
Some of those are gonna be cataloged.
26, 32. Yeah, there's probably 38 public computers, including catalogs.
Well, there you go.
And that's not counting, we will also have a lab,
wait.
we will also have laptops that we'll be able to do classes with, so we can pull out into the meeting room.
So they'll be they'll be stored in the classrooms.
I think there's 22 adult computers,
Okay.
so that'd be 40.
How many teams are there?
6.
6.
Wonderful, so all of this means, we did advertised that the soft opening date was subject to change. And it still is subject to change, so we're looking at that February 24th. The goodbye to this building is set for the 21st, no matter what. But still, there will be a lot to do in this building afterwards. And I have one more thing, the one thing I've been reporting on during the building committee reports is the donor situation, our donors. And we are in the process of notifying all our donors that the signage, legacy donors have contributed a certain amount of money, and many of whom contributed for the purpose of naming a feature or an area or a room in the library. But all of that work, the signage work, is something that'll be done inside the library. It isn't required for occupancy or for us to get operation of the library. So we'll be working on that through the spring, and we're notifying all the legacy donors that while the soft opening will take place fairly soon, the signage will not be up. Now, we don't want people to come in and be disappointed that that's not up, nor will the donor wall be completed until close to the time of the grand opening. And at that time, we'll have another communication with the donors so that they can see it. But that is the kind of detailed work.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Mhm.
Who has done the design elements of the donor wall? Is that the architect? or-
Right, it's come through through the architecture firm and the interior design business. I don't
We've
know if we were able to-
we've not finalized the donor wall.
Right,
We've
the
had
donor
concept.
wall will be near those spiral stairs, and because that area was the most unfinished, I don't know if we even talked about,
No,
when
we
you were
didn't.
over there, I don't know if we even talked about where it's gonna be. But we haven't really, because of all this other stuff, just what you heard Dan talking about for the last 10 or 15 minutes, these kind of details are things that are happening later. And so it's maybe, I think it's just as well to let people know, to get the expectation set that all that signage will be finished closer to the grand opening, which will be the end of July. And is there a report on Sumter? I haven't been in the Sumter building since the grand opening there.
Things have been going well. All of our patrons who have books on hold are going to the Sumter branch to pick them up. They're using the computers, so that's been working out for us. It's been good to have that available.
I've
What kind
understood-
of response are you getting from the community, Mary Jo?
I would say, in January, I'm not sure about February, in January, approximately 25 people a day on the days that we're open. So
That's wonderful. I've been hearing from staff too that it's been a steady flow. And then, Noel,
Yes.
I have a question. And when I was down there for the opening, I stayed a little late and I talked with you and other staff that was there, and we were talking about more color in the building, but I understand there is more. Could you tell us how things are looking? You got some appliances and stuff, right?
Yeah, the fridge is the only thing that I really know about that's been different, but
Fridge and the microwave.
The
yeah.
microwave is
And I
red.
put up big red curtains,
And a
Red
table,
curtains.
pardon me?
and a table.
Yeah. The kitchen table. The curtains, you don't usually have curtains in the library, but there's the deadened sound too.
Yeah,
So it does, yeah.
those, and the red curtains will be helpful because it was it's stark, whether it's,
And I think it looks cute.
yeah.
And we still have some work to do in we've got a children's activity cube on order for the children's room, so we're waiting for that.
Okay, so that's not come yet.
And I think
And the
shelving hasn't got
The
delivered
shelving
there
hasn't
yet.
been delivered yet.
Yeah, we're still waiting on
We're
those
still waiting
pieces.
for
Base.
the steel to make the shelves or whatever's going
Yeah,
on.
right.
Oh, yeah, shelving for the,
We have just a couple units of shelving for holds there, and then we have 3 units of low shelving just for computer help books or, magazine or just very modest, not real collection, but somebody comes and they're waiting for a computer, there might be something for them to read.
Is the drive up book drop being used at all?
Yes. I should ask Noel that.
What's that?
The book return at Sumter, people are using it?
Yes.
Well, okay, good.
Yeah.
Has the post office gotten any of our books?
Not that I've heard of.
Have we gotten any of their mail?
Well, it's right out in front, you know, sometimes people don't look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in there a couple weekends ago to pick up some books, and there were two gentlemen that were just walking out and getting in a car. And I said, so how's this new building? Oh, it's great. I mean, they just went on and on. Do you like it? Oh, yeah. I said, easy to use? Yeah, we've been using the computers. It's great. I said, well, I'm one of the library board members. I thought this guy was gonna get down and kiss my feet. He was so cute. I mean, he was just, thank you so much. Tell everybody we love it. So
Right.
as far as reaction goes,
That's great. That's
They
just
liked
great.
yeah.
I never saw John Morgan smile so much as the grand opening. He was so pleased.
This was
so
his
pleased.
vision, this is what he wanted.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very pleased.
I mean, and so forth.
And I believe DTE has been out and has installed a street light, so
Oh,
the parking lot's a
parking
little bit brighter at night.
Oh, that's good.
And the stained glass artwork in the building is lovely,
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
very nice.
So
Well,
whichever-
good.
I don't know if there should be drinking on the job here.
Yeah, well, if I could have, I would have gotten more than just Welch's sparkling grape juice. But I wanted to get something that even, that at least looked close. Because we really are getting closer. I don't wanna get ahead of ourselves, you know, we obviously have a lot more to do before everything is all wrapped up, but we have accomplished enough that we deserve to be able to start celebrating. And I don't know if anybody else has anything on the building, either of the buildings that we haven't talked about. If not, we'll move along, so we can perhaps get our meeting done within an hour.
Bylaw.
The bylaws committee,
I have
John?
no report.
We have a finance document in our packet, so the finance committee is next, and I'll ask Barbara and Mary Jo to talk about that.
This is the 6-month budget, and basically we're on track. Anything that looks off usually has to do with money that we don't receive every month. For example, penal fines, which we only receive once a year.
Okay. Are there any questions? This is kind of routine, although this year there's nothing routine about this year, but miraculously, and a lot, not just a miracle, a lot of hard work, especially by Mary Jo, we have managed to keep things moving along. I appreciate Carol and the work she's done. She kind of, because I often come in here signing checks, she even makes sure that we always know if there's anything that was a little different about how she had to pay them this month. But we've kept on track, even in the midst of all this change. And that's also a testament to good management.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we accept the 6-month ending December 31st, 2019 budget.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Juriga and seconded by Dawson that the budget, 6 months budget ending December 31st, 2019 be accepted. Is there any further comment? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. There is no opposition. The motion carries with no dissenting votes. And now we move into the marketing committee, which, although our marketing committee chair can't be here tonight, there's been a lot of work there, and I'm gonna ask
I can take
trustee
care of that, yeah.
Dawson to take over this report.
So tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have a marketing meeting,
Right.
marketing committee meeting. And a lot of it's gonna be based on what's coming up as far as the Mardi Gras event and the soft opening, and then eventually some take that back, it doesn't, never mind. But falls into, how we're gonna be welcoming people with, on the first day. So I have these sort of cool bags. I think they're sort of cool bags.
I wanted you to know that our marketing committee.
Yes, that's one of the table decorations you get.
Our marketing committee made
So,
and had
we have,
acquired
in the
these.
spirit of the library, blue construction hats. We have bags,
What are they saying?
the Hoyer District
Summer
Library,
2020,
yes, and Read, Learn, Explore.
And we'll get those out there.
I still have construction
Maybe
dogs.
so.
So that's some of the stuff that we're gonna be doing, for the soft opening, for, you know, for like the first 100 people or so that show up.
Have fun.
For the Mardi Gras, we've got, I can't remember the name of the band,
Oh,
group. The something,
What's the band's name?
Oh, the time.
Marty Wilson's song.
The something time,
It's a brass combo,
the brass band.
okay? And they're gonna be doing, weather permitting, leading us in a parade around the buildings.
Oh.
I've got beads, I've got masks,
Yeah, we got all kind of Marty, that's why I dressed in all this, because I
you
won't
can
be.
pretend to be whoever you want when you're wearing a mask.
Right.
So, after the parade, we're gonna come back here, have some refreshments, and, we're gonna party like it's, what is it?
1953,
I was gonna say 47, but
the Crosstown Horn Band.
that's it. Yeah.
There's no time in there, cross town.
Yeah. So anyway, everything here starts on the 21st at 6 o'clock.
And part of it, we're saying farewell to the Fred C. Fisher
Yes.
building, so
Farewell
even
to
though I
Fred.
won't be here, I envision, and we'll start the music again as soon as we're done with this meeting. I
And-
envision that kind of a second line, the parade would kind of second line go around here as people acknowledge, in New Orleans, as they acknowledge the passing of people, will acknowledge the passing of.
and we will be celebrating like the Roaring Twenties,
Well, and why is that?
2020.
So now I gotta find a fringe dress
All right.
to go with a mask.
Oh, we have so much to celebrate.
Anyway, and we're also gonna have some light refreshments, from the bayou. I think that's it.
So
Um,
the.
Oh, and Fred's gonna be here.
Fred C.
Fred C. Fish is gonna be
Will there
here.
be
He's
a
gonna be
eulogy?
walking with the band.
Will there be a
Um,
eulogy?
So has the soft opening been moved from the 21st to the 24th?
The
No.
21st was the Mardi Gras event at 6 o'clock.
So the
That's a
Mardi Gras is
farewell.
farewell.
It's just a farewell.
Okay.
Inside this thing.
Yeah,
And that's inside this building.
this building's supposed to come down a couple weeks after that.
And then on the 24th, what time does the opening of the library start?
we don't-
6?
We're not sure. That's the one where I just said that in all our advertising, it's been subject to change. And until those railings are in place on our spiral staircase, we can't do it. So we have to wait till we get certificate of
It's like,
occupancy
it's a little
to
bit like
have
being
the
pregnant,
soft
they give you a
opening.
due date.
So, but before the 24th, if that's the day we are able to do the soft opening, people can come here at 9:30 and we're doing a book brigade from this building to the new one, passing the books along. And when the last book is in, we're open.
So we will, once we know, we will try to publicize that as best we can, once we have a.
We'll
Yeah.
have to publicize it really quickly. We won't be able to publicize it in the paper, I don't think, because I don't think we'll have enough lead time to know for sure. But
Yeah.
maybe we can let people know that it's
In my conversations with
hopefully at
Dean,
that week.
I think the 24th is highly unlikely.
Right.
Probably the best date the earliest date could be the 25th, but I think that's even you know, a target at this
So
point.
maybe later that week might be better. We're hoping it'll be that week, sometime in the week of the 24th.
Correct.
That hope is still there when you talk to our construction people.
But you know what, I was thinking too, because we won't have the paper, you know, if we go past, well, right now we don't know, so we can't give you a date. But I was thinking, you know, places like Egan's, something, you know, on the door of the museum, you know, ask different businesses, okay, can we put a poster, a small poster up that says
Your
soft
blinking sign down on the corner?
Well, right, that too. Sometimes people get a green light, don't they? Or they're slow readers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's lead time, I think Carol Thomas requires a certain amount of lead time for that too. For the,
She can
She's flexible.
Yeah,
can she,
yeah.
I think, were you gonna say something, Deb?
I just said she's probably flexible.
Mhm.
Obviously,
Depends
you'll,
on who's talking to her.
well,
Yeah.
right, I think she can be, can be, right.
Dean and I have discussed it, but frankly, I'm forgetting what he said. But prior to that, I think the construction fence on Fourth Street will come down.
Oh,
But I don't remember what date, where he's thinking that, but that'll, you know, so we have to open up the
Well,
pathway.
those
in the
ladders, when the soft opening takes place, will these chain link ladders that are on the Fourth Street area?
That's what he's talking
The,
about.
the construction fencing, right.
Fences.
They'll move it and start to probably encircle this building.
Oh,
But, and we talked, I think we were somewhat open to letting people come from Roy Street past the dumpster, I think.
I talked to Dean a little bit about that, we're gonna try to leave some of the
Limit it to-
construction fencing up until
Yeah.
April, so that,
Part of it is the snow
because
removal
of
issue.
snow
Yeah.
issues, yeah. We can't salt the new pavement for the first year,
It's damaging to the
because it
concrete.
damages the concrete, so we're trying to.
And we don't wanna
Minimize the
damage
amount
any
of
people.
Yeah.
shoveling and
Mhm.
sidewalk that we might, so we might make it a little bit further for patrons to have to walk to get in the building. And the building, once it does open, soft opening, it's still gonna be a little bit of a work in progress, you know, until we're all said and done.
Deb?
You're not gonna have one of those spotlights that
Oh,
lights
yeah.
up in the
Maybe we
sky?
could go-
We had to cut that out of the budget.
The bat sign?
Yeah, but that's fun.
Well, we'll
That would
figure,
be kind of cool.
It would be.
yeah, would
That
be.
would-
Get your logo up on the cloud?
Put it on the roof. Behind the screen, it would still be seen.
Well, does anybody have a disco ball? We could just,
I've got one
of course you do.
in my barn.
In your barn.
The exterior signage is supposed to be coming. Where's that date? It's supposed to be happening the week of 19th for the sign that says library.
Yeah, that's a week from yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and the canopy sign was supposed to be in last week, but I think we're still waiting on it. So, but that'll help orient people once we are open.
Well, while we are doing our marketing committee report, we seem to kind of be going back and forth to the building committee, but that's the point. The marketing committee has a big agenda of activities all year, but the two we're focusing on in the meeting, Mary Jane already told you tomorrow, we'll be focusing on these couple of activities that are coming right up. And then we'll get them done and we'll start on the next ones.
On the marketing committee, are you having, an event in which you invite all the librarians around so that they can see the library?
We're going to be hosting many
Events.
librarian meetings, yeah. I'm sure we're gonna be on tap. There are several different committees that meet.
And
So
you'll
they'll have a good
be in
chance.
the loop.
They will also all be invited to the grand opening.
Thank you.
That's a good idea, though, the idea of I'm sure they'll be interested, and knowing Mary Jo and her relationship with folks, I bet people will be coming through here all the time. But it'll be good, we'll have a meeting room big enough that large library meetings can be hosted here, which has not been the case in the past. So anyway, the marketing committee is a public meeting, it's been posted, so everybody in this room can come to it if they want to, but those on the committee will definitely be there. And all the people that need to help with these events, and that's the main thing, as Mary Jane is saying, there's a lot of tasks, we're gonna need help from more than just the people that are on any one little committee. But,
Just an FYI, I emailed the agenda for tomorrow to you guys.
I saw it.
I tried to print it, and something's the matter with my husband's printer, so,
You said
Well,
this-
but the email
This
came through.
evening?
yeah.
You
So-
said this evening?
1 o'clock tomorrow.
I said
1
something
o'clock.
about your printer. He said, what is it? I said, I pressed the button for 6, I needed 6 copies, I got 6 blank
Meeting
pages.
started. Sometime this afternoon, didn't you send it this afternoon?
It was this evening, I think.
No.
Yeah, that was it. I think I got everybody.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
We'll have to get one to Barbara.
Where are we?
We're on the personnel committee, and that's Linda Priest, and there is no report. The policy committee, MJ? there is no report for the policy committee. The art committee, our art committee chair, Michelle Montour, had talked to us last week about hoping she could be able to be here tonight, but I do not see her here.
Barbara's here.
She could not make it, so.
She couldn't make it, but as Barbara referenced early on, the art committee did meet last week, had a very productive meeting, and went through the building, and Michelle is really a wonderful chair of that committee. She went through with her little clipboard, noting the places in the building. They had been waiting to see the color and what the finished building will look like, which you can start to get that idea when you see it now. And so that committee identified certain places in the building that they're gonna be thinking about in terms of art. We have already designated where the temporary exhibits will likely go, but then there's gonna be a number of places for art. Is there any other comments you wanna make on that, Barbara, or?
I found Hubert Massey's card. Hubert Massey, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the name. He is the fresco artist that just did the fresco, the $1 million fresco in Cobo Hall. And he's the like artist in residence for Myers, and
They have a big art
has-
program.
his commissions are incredible, and he and I serve on a couple committees together, and I have become friends over the years, and I asked him if he would come and talk to our art committee about doing some permanent art, what we should look for in permanent art. He has plenty of work, but he's not necessarily looking for commissions for himself, but he could certainly advise us, and he would be more than glad to. And so he said he would like to set up a meeting with the chair of the library board first, and kind of survey the premises first, and then come and address the committee, having had time to think about it ahead of time. So I have his card for you.
Oh, thank you.
What was his first name again, Barbara?
Hubert Massey, he has a website,
All right.
and he has done commissions all over the city of Detroit. He's an extraordinary artist with an extraordinary story. He was in the day, he was a billboard painter. And his talent was so extraordinary that he went to, is it Saginaw Valley? What's the,
Where the Marshall Fredericks Gallery is?
I can't think of the name of the school he went to.
Saginaw Valley.
But the guy that was president of that university now is CEO for Myers. And
Oh, that
that's,
would have been Grand Valley. Grand Valley State
Grand
University.
Valley,
Mark
right.
Murray used to be president of Grand Valley, and now he's upper management at Meyer. He used to work for state government with me.
And he had a connection then with Hubert Massey.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's how he
What
brought,
a small world.
so that's how he brought Hubert into, Myers. And Hubert got that fabulous, commission for Cobo Hall.
Well, thank you. Did you say you have that card for me to
Yes,
make
I
that?
do.
Well, I will take it and
And-
we
and
will
I
follow
would
up and I'll
encourage
keep in
the
touch
board-
with you.
Yeah, and I would encourage the board to go to his website, Hubert Massey.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You'll see his extraordinary work.
Is there anything else from the art committee? Both Mary Jane and Mary Jo, and I think that's it.
The art committee's consensus was to place the
Oh, yeah,
portrait
yeah.
of Fred C. Fisher in the upstairs conference room.
In the,
Boardroom is the
in
boardroom.
the, not, oh, it was the boardroom. Yeah, rather than the,
There was a really nice spot there that was just great for it. It was it was like between two windows.
yeah, it was the boardroom rather than the local history room, because the local history room was getting this. So, they did ask that that be reported tonight, I'm glad you remember. They asked so it would be formally reported and in our minutes that that recommendation has come in. And our board is open to, to however we want to about determining what we wanna do with that recommendation. It's a formal recommendation from the committee. We don't have to act on it tonight, we could act on it next month. It's whatever the people want.
A question.
Dan?
I probably should have asked this before your art committee, but has the art committee given any thought to a first exhibit on that wall as we have our soft opening?
On the temporary exhibit
On the
wall?
the gallery wall?
The art committee has given a lot of thought to a first major exhibit in the fall of 2020, which will be around the League of Women Voters, suffragettes, women,
Washtenaw County has a very good display there that you could probably borrow. I borrowed it from my library on suffragettes.
And where is the exhibit?
It was Washtenaw County Historical Museum who created an exhibit about the suffragettes and women voting. And parts of it we had in our building at one point.
Anniversary, isn't it?
yeah, the 100-year anniversary is where, and Donna, I wouldn't wanna redo anything, Donna Laban and our friends and the.
Virginia Belinsky from the League of Women
And the
Voters.
league have some ideas, so that's the one that they did talk about. I don't know exactly if they're planning, if there's something in that that would be up in time for the grand opening at the end of July, and we should perhaps,
We get those artifacts in October.
in October. So in July, we might want to think about if there's something that can be installed. By that time, will all the installation stuff will be up, whatever. Remember, didn't we talk about we're supposed to have a system to hang stuff in the,
Walker system?
We have not specified that as of yet. We certainly could add it, but I didn't remember if that was I know there was months and months and months ago, we had talked about that at, I think, at our committee, and I thought there was some sense of, you may or
Doing
may
an
not,
hanging
you may or may not use that. I know that whole wall has plywood behind it, so you
Right.
could actually nail to it, but.
well,
So
But I mean,
much easier to use a system of.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we need
I
to
don't
have.
disagree, but I thought there
If
was.
we don't have that, I'm glad you are here, because I thought it was already in the building plan, but I would really recommend that we talk about it in the building committee, and and the art committee, I don't know, since it is far from resolved, I don't know that
Yeah.
we can do
It's
it
either
right
that or
here.
we're gonna have to get command strips.
Yeah, those,
I don't wanna go on the wall.
Well,
No.
we can certainly do that. That's a very tall wall. I mean, it's the drywall is 16 feet high. So if you wanna make maximum use of the display space, you know, you'd mount that at the very top, and then if you're gonna
Right.
hang something down at eye level, it's a really long,
Well, we
rod.
wanna be able to hang
So-
some things really high and lower, you know.
Right.
We
It
So-
does
don't-
mean you have to be brave climbing the ladder.
Right, so,
have
which,
to have-
which, I think it's, you're absolutely right, we should discuss this with the building
At a
committee
separate
and
time.
figure out how to do it.
But that's something we do, I'm glad it came up, because that's something we do need to
So
have
what, just the reason I asked the questions, for now, I've directed Dean and Mo, so we have all of this lighting on that track system that hangs in the opening. So I have them, they're doing their best to try to, at least first blush, aim it at the shelving, so someone's gonna like the shelving that's below it, but then also just light that wall. So I've just given them direction to kind of put pools of light on the wall, but we're not lighting anything sort of on day one, but it'll just illuminate that display wall. So, I'll just tell them to do that.
Okay, well, that'll be an issue. The art committee has planned a meeting in March. It'll be an issue for the art committee, for the building committee, which is next week, right? And, next week? And,
26.
we'll work on that separately.
Barbara,
Thank you.
you said something about artifacts.
From the league, there is a woman in the league who has been collecting,
Suffrage.
women's
Oh,
suffrage
okay.
artifacts.
So that was a separate exhibit from the suffragette?
No,
Okay.
Well, it's on that theme.
all
It
her
might be
stuff is
separate from the one
suffragette
you're
stuff.
talking.
I thought you were talking about two different, the suffragette was one and this, some kind of artifact display was another
No,
exhibit.
the same.
So, okay.
And we were concerned about having cases for the artifacts because they can't be hung on walls, you know.
That's something we need to talk to you about too, because we talked ages ago about a display case, but we haven't have you guys talked about it?
We talked about that on Friday, so.
So all these things need to be resolved, I mean, need to be further work will be done.
On the building committee agenda.
And, but the suffragette exhibit that you talked about was a separate one that's in the Washington On.
They did it, maybe 5 years ago, but I don't think they get rid of their exhibits, they just pack them away for some other time. And when it was out at that point, they had it at a couple places and we were one of them.
Oh.
So,
Okay,
it's a pre-made exhibit, ready to go, has big banners.
It may be the same thing.
As,
It sounds like the
We
same
should
thing
check
that
in.
Donna talked
had
about.
big banners, and it had women in white robes, stand-up, cardboard stand-ups and things like that.
That sounds like the same thing, doesn't it?
might be,
And Donna was talking about.
right, it does. So we'll have to check on that too.
Okay.
We've got a lot for other committees, we've been setting the agenda for other committees as well. So we finished the art committee was the last of our committee reports, and I really think the last of our major discussion items. We do have to do our accounts payable, that's item 8 on the agenda. So I would
Make a motion
correct
to
the
accept the
Okay.
payable report as presented.
You will note that the accounts payable report is a very long one, and much of it is Baker and Taylor books.
Yeah,
It's
lots.
page after page, and that has been check after check that Mary Jo and I and Joy have put a lot
I
of
haven't signed
into.
any of these,
Oh, you haven't?
not one.
Well, next week you'll get your chance, I will be away and you will sign away, Baker and Taylor, Baker and Taylor. Anyway, then Baker, and we're buying a bunch of new books, big surprise. Other than that, I didn't notice anything different on these, does anybody have any questions on? Then, there's a motion and a second to accept the, accounts payable. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay.
Who made the motion?
Uh,
Oh,
MJ,
sorry.
MJ made the motion.
Did we already vote?
Yes.
We already,
Okay,
yeah. And we've already been unanimous, so now we're unanimous.
we're still unanimous.
It's in March, right?
Director's report. We are on item 9, director's report.
Oh my God, why is there 50% change in library visits?
Throws the
Yeah,
stats
just-
out for the.
I know, Steve,
Well, I think we'll make up for
Just think
them
about-
in the new building.
Just think about
Right.
next year,
Yeah.
January, what those numbers
Yeah.
will be. We have been working
There was a
hard,
meeting the sixth.
like, the staff has been working very hard on getting everything going. The Baker Taylor water, we received a shipment a few weeks ago that the staff had been working on the unpacking and checking off packing slips and shelving. We just received another order today, almost as big as the first order, so they've been working very hard to get those interfiled in the places where they can interfile the items.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Um,
Thursday.
Did they come with those RFT scripts already?
Yes, yeah, we pay Baker Taylor for processing services, so they took care of all of our labeling and everything, so it's been a big.
Not Thursday, Tuesday.
We've been in the process of hiring a lot of part-time staff,
Yeah.
a lot of names here, and, you know, please join me in welcoming them. We are working on training them, so.
So pleased to see Michelle, getting the department head.
Yeah.
Yes,
She's a
Yeah.
workhorse.
yes,
And I hope she got a raise too.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Good.
Michelle is
I
phenomenal.
did too today.
Huh?
They're doubling my pay today. Just go to the bayou, see what you can work out. I'll double your pay.
Nothing from nothing is nothing.
Yeah.
So,
So, are they gonna have name tags right away?
I said, I had the same thought, I told her we've gotta get name tags on them, because there's so many names that begin with a C or a K,
Yeah.
for some reason.
There's a Carrie, a Carrie,
Cameron.
Kimberly, and a Karen,
Caitlin,
Cameron,
Crystal.
yeah.
right.
Cameron.
That was not part of the job description,
It
they did
wasn't.
not have to give us.
In my building, it's J's, lots of
Just
J's.
get from there. So, yeah, in addition to, promoting Michelle, and that's very well, and well deserved, we're also, promoting from within a couple other positions, Crystal Corcoran from substitute librarian to part-time librarian, Jackie Douglas from clerk to assistant, Johnson Greer from student assistant to clerk.
What does this bring your FTE up to, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember now.
You have a facility
Let's say around
assistant,
24.
40.
Yeah. Yes, we have a new position, facilities assistant. We are working our way through this position, so we actually don't have an official job description for them yet. We want to work with the position before we start putting it down in writing. We're modeling it loosely on, we do have a custodial position on the books that we're using for part of this, but some of what he's doing is running, we do have delivery service to the Sumter Fish, but there are a lot of times where things are coming and going, and we just want to be able to run it back over, so he's doing that for us. In the new building, we're gonna be doing a lot of setup and takedown of room furniture for meetings, so we want someone that can kind of help be in charge of that. And sort of be a little bit of an ambassador for us, right, and do some light repair work, so we're kind of experimenting with this position before we set a specific job description in place. Once we get that, I'll put personal committee with that. But I cannot say enough good things about my staff right now, they've been working very hard,
Yeah, but they're excited.
they're excited, so it's been very positive. I also wanted to give a shout out to Carol for cutting all of those checks.
Yeah.
She has been working hard.
Oh, here it is.
Okay,
Okey dokey, thank you. It is now time for trustee comments, and we're gonna start with trustee Juriga.
Madam Chair, I'd like to thank you for the treats tonight. That's
Oh,
it.
you are very welcome.
That's it.
Thank you. Barbara?
I pass.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, go home. was in tears when I came in here and I saw the empty shelves, and then I was in tears last week over there, because it's so cool. So,
Tears of joy,
Yeah.
joy, joyous.
Oh, that was good.
MJ?
Well, I think I'm more excited than she is. Might be, I know, I'm just kidding. No, everything is looking good. I can't wait to see people's faces when they walk in that building. I just awesome. Thank you for the treats.
yes.
And, for those of you who didn't bother to jump in the lake last week
Woo!
for the polar plunge, they
You are
raised,
saying
I
Norbury?
try not to do stupid at my age.
Alright.
they raised $35,000.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and everybody came out of the lake, that was.
That is a capital
That's a good one. Cool, excellent.
Did you go
Now, can somebody push the button and start the music again? That's my report. The chair, now into the area of the chair comment, and my comment is, let our celebration begin, so,
Madam Chair, I make the motion that this meeting be adjourned.
The last meeting in this building.
the last meeting in this building.
Amen.
Here we
Get
go.
a second?
On that